Greetings! What is up, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is shining and the magpie is casting. Coming to you guys right now with a ladder game featuring, well, I'll introduce the players shortly, but the map is going to be Firebase Krill. And this replay has been recommended to me. Apparently we have a pretty good battle, or at least a very interesting battle. I'll just be totally honest, actually. I know nearly nothing about this replay at all, other than that it was sent to me, and so must be pretty interesting. It is going to be featuring spawning in the south, playing as the black and white Galzian forces. It is going to be Sparrow. And Sparrow, for those of you who don't know, is again, in my opinion, just an absolutely top-tier player. Super good, always impressive, and usually has a pretty idiosyncratic take on the game. His attacks are just well-practiced and... what am I trying to say here? Just well-executed. He's a smooth operator. And spawning in the north, playing as the... as soon as I reveal him, playing as the pink... yeah, the sort of purpley-pink Saban forces. It is going to be EmptySoul, who I might just call Empty. So, EmptySoul, I've never had the pleasure of casting before, so this is going to be very interesting. We'll have to see exactly what kind of skill level and what kind of play style he's going to present to us in this game. Should be very interesting. Looks like moving out with his base runner here is Empty. The base runner for Sparrow, as is customary pretty much for Galzian players, has been retired. That base runner did, of course, receive some changes in the recent patch, repairs being free, and what else did it get? Oh, that's right, a much faster cooldown on the sensor, but apparently that still doesn't quite justify its continued existence at the start of the game, and most Galzian players, from what I've seen, still choosing to retire that unit, and that's fine. I'm just glad that it's got a little bit more utility out of that repair ability, because when the game first released, I was just like, hey, that repair thing looks really cool. That could be like a real defining feature of Galzian play, particularly in the early game. I was looking forward to using it for early pokes and things, but 250 CUs I think it used to cost for a repair ability that was only moderate in strength and used on units that can repair themselves anyway was a little bit mess, so making it free, that's really cool, and I'm still looking forward to seeing it being used for effect in a replay. Anyway, looks like we've got looks like we've got LAV Tech here for the Saban player. Empty going to be spreading out a nice little sensor network here. You can see one left, one right, two mid, with base runner waiting for the artifact spawn in mid. Sparrow here, going for the double production cruiser. Sandskim attack is done. Let's bring up the tech tree. You can see here. Of course, we're viewing this replay through Sparrow's eyes, so we do have the luxury, we are privy to his tech choices here. Sandskim is going to find the base runner and start harassing it down, and barring any other units getting involved, this will be a dead base runner here. So Sparrow looking to pick up his first base runner. I imagine these production cruisers are going to be continuing to spit out these sound skimmers, and that's going to be a reasonable opening here for Sparrow, who, based on the positioning of his production cruisers, is going to be able to keep the pressure on. But let's check the carrier here for Empty. No tech popping up just at this time, so we're not actually sure what he's going to be going for, whether it's going to be AAVs or something different. You have to think it probably is going to be AAVs. Saban players, Coalition players generally do go for the AAV. It's a super good unit, even with the nerf in the latest patch. Looks like a targeting jammer going to come down. That's not free, that is 150 CUs. I didn't actually see if it was very effective, but it doesn't feel like it was. 7 sand skimmers here now, going to take out that base runner in pretty short order. And looks like Sparrow here doing pretty well for himself, able to wipe out a couple of his opponent's units, the base runner, and that is going to put him more or less ahead. If I sound hesitant, it's because economically speaking, let's see, how many salvages do we have here? 2. Yeah, so it's probably about even on economy. You can see the support cruiser has come out here for Empty, so Empty is probably mining slightly more efficiently right now. Is it just me, or is there still no AAV tech on this carrier? That is unusual. Anyway, ALM's going to be popping out here to help defend against these sand skimmers. Nice little high ground position here. This sand dune going to provide. Actually, this is a lovely little attacking position, isn't it? It's been a while since I've seen this map, but yeah, this sand dune here provides a really nice crescent for an attacking player to apply pressure to the northern spawning player. So that's going to be nice here. We've got assault railguns coming out now for Sparrow, so interesting stuff. He's also producing heavy railguns right now, so once those heavy railguns come out, this position here is going to be a really nice fort for the attacking player. So Sparrow's going to find himself in a nice position. Still producing salvages, still long distance mining here from a second location is Sparrow, so That's pretty cool. We'll keep the tech up if we can. Sandskimmer's going to move in here. That's a lot of LAVs though, and actually I think that's probably too many LAVs for these Sandskimmers to take. Remember, LAVs actually do slightly more DPS, if I recall, than a Sandskimmer. And we'll have to see. Heavy railgun here chipping in for damage. I believe it's targeting support cruiser, and that is the target that it really wants to be hitting. These assault railguns, uh-oh, on the wrong side of the sand dune. If they were just up on the spine here, they could be giving some cover fire to these retreating Sandskimmers. Okay, now they move in. Now with the kiting on these assault railguns, that's the time when Empty here is going to have to is going to have to pull back these LAVs. Railgun tech is going to be the tech of choice. You can see the railgun module, which is this little blopper here on the carrier, has popped up. It looks a little bit different. Whoopsie! Looks a little bit different on the Saban carrier, doesn't it? Cool. Okay, looks like the LAV's feeling pretty confident actually. They're going to overrun and pick up this heavy railgun. Nice pickup there for Empty. He's going to have to get back with these. I don't know actually. Yeah, that's 4 assault railguns. He's going to have to. Oh, he's a little indecisive there. I think 4 assault railguns. He actually manages to pick one of them up. That is really nice actually. I've got to give credit where credit's due. Empty here, microing this really nicely. And taking a look at the economy here for Sparrow, still only on like kind of 1.5 mining locations, long distancing from the second here. So safe to say that right now Empty is going to be out mining his opponent because he has carrier here, siege cruiser over here. That siege cruiser was damaged but is totally still fine and operating just perfectly well over here. ALM's also providing a bit of extra defense. Budding Saban players out there, do take note. This has been a pretty good defense so far from Empty. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. The positioning, the tactics, the unit selection, sort of composition choices he's making. All seems pretty spicy so far. Also interesting to note that he's pulling all this off without AAVs, which is pretty brave, I think, when you play a Saban or Coalition. AAVs are such a strong unit, and opting to go without them in the early game and facing off against Sandskimmers particularly without AAVs is it's not easy. So anyway, that is a lot of LAVs too. Enough that these railguns are going to have to be super careful. Although having said that, is this an overextension here from Empty? I don't know. He's looking to get his railguns up onto the high ground here, and that would be nice if he can grab that position. These assault railguns are just going to kite all day, but a high ground advantage on the LAVs actually means that all the Sandskim is going to go down. Empty here, really making LAVs look pretty spicy. Let's get a little bit zoomed in here. Get some full screen cinematic action. Anybody who played Halo and enjoys the Warthog, that's what the LAVs remind me of, just little Warthogs. They're such cool. Or like the Nod attack buggy from Command & Conquer, just super cool. So anyway, LAV's going to come in here, and they actually pick up every assault railgun. These heavy railguns are super exposed, so Empty here could be hitting for a lot of value here if he swings to the left and chews off these heavy railguns. Come on. Oh, he dives back over the sand dune. Okay, so here's the plan. Dive back over the sand dune, strafe left, hop over the sand dune, take out the heavy railguns, then hop back over the sand dune, then GTFO. That would have been my plan, but actually, looks like assault ships coming out in just the nick of time. And Sparrow going to be able to fend this off. No turbo booster research. Oh, actually, maybe booster research is done on these LAVs. I don't know. Certainly I didn't notice turbo boost being used, but that would have been a good opportunity. He probably could have saved 5 or 6 LAVs if turbo boost was used to get out of there. Possibly it was on cooldown and I missed it being used. Not actually sure. 2 production cruisers. The production cruisers that Sparrow was using aggressively are now going to position themselves defensively. Production cruiser refinery mode has long finished, so Sparrow looking to take an economic edge here by spreading himself out to 3 mining locations. We're going to see if he's going to be able to hold that, because Empty looking to be the player on the offensive here. Now with field control, I'd like to see him actually go for a base runner for 2 reasons. One, if you get a turret like here, that's pretty powerful. We're already past the stage in the game where that's really good, but if you get a turret like on this ramp at this stage in the game, it's really cool because it basically gives you map control, it gives you the artifacts, and it gives you just a really nice hard point outside your opponent's base. And yeah, controlling this area is really strong, because if you control this area as the northern spawning player, you can strike pretty much wherever you fancy at the southern spawning player. So that's something I quite like. Let's bring up the tech here. So siege cruiser fabrication going to be coming up here for Sparrow. He has got no sandskimmer upgrades, no railgun armor upgrades. In fact, not very many upgrades full stop. So, but this is early siege cruiser fab, so that's where his money is going. Not into upgrades, more into siege cruiser fab. And this is a risky moment here. Look at the forces out here for Sparrow. This is his entire army. You can see in the bottom left, 5 assault ships, 2 heavy railguns, and a couple of other units just slowly coming out. But if you look at the army here for Empty, that is a superior force. 13 LAVs, 4 railguns. So This is a window of time here before the siege cruiser tech has actually started providing any value for Sparrow, where actually Empty could get some work done. LAV is going to tenuously poke into mid. Assault ships are pretty armoured though, and so that's not really providing them with much value. Looks like Empty's going to transition over to the right here, possibly looking to scout this location and achieve a bit of damage if it's exposed. LAV is going to take the high ground here, but these assault ships are actually pretty good. So this is going to be tough. Oh, heavy railgun's finding some sweet angles here. Remember, the Saban heavy railgun does have a nice rate of fire. So he's going to maybe pick off one of these assault ships. It's hard to tell. The shots are coming through. He's not actually gotten any kills, which I feel is a little unlucky. Oh, man. Oh, he's got to get one of these. Okay, he does get one assault ship. There we go. Meanwhile, on the left flank, strike fighters now out. So missile ship fabrication. As soon as Sparrow spots these air forces, he knows he's in peril. His only anti-air here are the 2 production cruisers. And are there 3 production? No, 2 production cruisers. Oh, look at that, Sparrow, very cleverly. He's not actually mining from this location. It's under a lot of pressure, and he needs to concentrate his anti-air into overlapping fields of fire. So he brings the production cruiser from the 3rd location to the 2nd. Empty going to push in here and properly deny this location. Probably going to pick himself up a little assault ship. Man, that assault ship is just like, how is that alive? Oh dear. And it looks like Sparrow looking to get back on the offensive, kind of fed up of defending, and these sand skimmers probably not enough to break the LAVs here, so they're actually more valuable just like on the offense. He's going to come on in here, but the air forces of Empty are going to be available on the defense. The sand skimmers are well spread though, so these strike fighters really aren't going to be enough to deter this at all, and the sand skimmers are going to start chewing into these salvages. So Sparrow actually really finding a window to do some damage. Oh, look at this, and Empty feels like he needs to yield this position that he had offensively. That's going to take all the pressure off of Sparrow and enable him to pretty much do what he likes and get back in this game. So the balance of power shifting based on this really nice kind of backstab of sand skimmers by Sparrow. And these sand skimmers are, I mean, a lot of them are going to be able to exfiltrate here safely, and they just have no upgrades to it. Okay, no, they've got 2 armor upgrades. That's why they're taking so little damage from these strike fighters. Well, bring up the tech again here. So he's had 2 armor upgrades. Oh, right, I totally missed that earlier on when I said he had no upgrades. Totally my bad, sorry guys. Anyway, sand skimmers here going to try and trade for a bit of damage on these railguns, realizing they don't quite have the DPS, and also realizing that there's a ton of LAVs coming in. What are these railguns on? Yeah, the railguns have got loads of upgrades. Whoa, okay, so the siege cruiser is here, takes a nice barrage, finds the railguns. He should pick up 1 or 2 of them. Oh, that's unlucky. The spread on that barrage actually cruelly denying Sparrow any real kills. The assault ships are flanking in here, and we've got both armies of reasonable size just jostling for position in mid, and this is looking like we're going to have a really nice game on our hands here. No player really taking the upper hand, no player really drawing significant blood either, both players being allowed to develop more or less unimpeded, just kind of deflecting each other's blows, making tactical choices as they move on into the mid game here. I like this early siege cruiser tech. These siege cruisers, there's now 2 of them, pretty intimidating at this stage in the game. No cruiser tech, as far as I know, for Empty. No AAV techs. Oh no, sorry, I take it back. He does. Of course, he has AAV tech. He's got strike fighters. Meh. But anyway, looks like the LAV is going to come for a dive down the left flank. What are the upgrades like? Oh, max upgrades on these LAVs. So these guys are spicy, and they mean business. I would love to see Empty get another... I suppose he is mining off of 3 locations. I was going to say, I'd love to see him get another support cruiser and just pull it into mid so he can repair all these units. But anyway, here come the LAVs. Whoa, look at the range and damage with these upgrades. They are just mincing these assault ships. Oh, man, LAVs are so cool. And he still has turbo boost not on cooldown, so anytime he feels like melting away, he can. These siege cruisers... Okay, there's the turbo boost. He uses it. He reckons he can take a fight here. Oh, the barrage has come down, but the turbo boost is going to totally dodge that. Nice high ground advantage here by Empty as well. He's making moves. Look at the damage on these heavy railguns. And remember, LAVs are 100 CUs each, so he's kind of pretty much fine with losing some of these, as long as he gets some good damage. So he's got like 3-4 heavy railguns, 2 assault ships, a handful of sand skimmers, a couple of salvages going down. The LAVs are getting low on health now though, so he's going to have to choose carefully what he wants to focus down. He goes for the siege cruiser, and that will be a kill. Empty here, sledging in for immense damage. Look at the veterancy on some of these sand skimmers. LAVs. This is nice to see. And just doing great damage. Is there anything else going on? No. Oh my god, Sparrow here just getting... Oh no, the LAVs are not going to get out of it. He's going to get a production cruiser as well. Is he going to get that production cruiser? I think he is if he wants it. Oh, he needs to actually make sure he does tag it. He does want to tag that. There we go. That's worth it. That's worth it. Wow. And he's going to get out with 11, 10, 9. He's going to get out with like 10 or so of these LAVs. Man, I am loving the work here from Empty. That is selling me on Soban a little bit, and Coalition forces generally. He's grabbing 2 artifacts as well. Empty putting together a hell of a show here against one of the players who I have the utmost respect for in this game. Wow. I gotta say, actually, Sparrow just, not a lot has really gone his way this game. His early aggression was just deflected. The only thing that's really gone his way was that one backstab, but I mean, that has been more than repaid now by the most recent attack from Empty. So, wow. Assault ships are going to come into range here, but these LAVs are so spicy. Assault ships are kind of actually not really trading very well at all. And heavy railguns in a great position. High ground advantage is active, and so I think Sparrow's probably going to lose it. Oh no, his missile ships. Okay, the missile ships come forward. That's a good missile barrage comes down off them, but I think he's just going to lose them. Missile ships have got a lot of health actually. They're pretty tough, but like the heavy railguns are just not taking prisoners here. Wow, and yet more value. Plus 2 artifacts grabbed here for Empty, who's putting on. I mean, this is looking horrendous now for Sparrow, who's got 2 heavy railguns. That is his offensive might right now. Oh no, and I mean, the heavy railguns are going to take up position here. Please tell me you're building air forces. Oh no, okay Sparrow, this is looking pretty bad. Empty here putting on such a show. Going to come in for damage. These are all very wounded though. I mean, this is why I would love it if he had like 1 more support cruiser. Battle cruisers? You what, mate? You what, mate? A brace of battle cruisers. Now these are the Saban battle cruisers, which have the railguns, and generally, let's be honest, most people, myself included, kind of think they're a bit worse, a lot worse than the regular Coalition battle cruiser. Well, okay, these LAVs are getting a bit wounded up actually, and if he loses the LAVs, this army suddenly becomes super vulnerable. Without these LAVs, and he's in a real bad spot because those battle cruisers and these heavy railguns will just die instantly. So he's still trading, but these LAVs are all so wounded. Look at them; they're all like on fire, leaking smoke. So what's the positioning on these heavy railguns, on these battle cruisers going to be? If he can like get them like over here somewhere, that'll be really cool. I worry that he does. Okay, he recognizes it and he's building a chain of LAVs. They're coming out across the map here. Solid play again by Empty. And oh my goodness me, Sparrow just desperately trying to cling on in this game. But it's tough. It is tough. I mean, he can't. Oh wow, his carrier's getting hosed by railguns now. Uh-oh, Sparrow, you're gonna have to move your carrier out. It's taking loads of hits. He's got no power on this carrier as well, so it's gonna be so slow and not be able pardon me, and not be able to repair her. Sparrow, you gotta get your carrier out of there, man. There's battle cruisers with high ground advantage. Oh my god. And there's like LAVs pouring in. I just don't see how this is gonna be holdable for Sparrow. Wow. What? The high ground advantage oh my god, now this battle cruiser operation gonna be rolling in here. Oh dear, battle cruiser needs line of sight on this carrier actually, that's a bit embarrassing. There we go, now he has line of sight. Bow, 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 bow. Oh, I heard you like railguns. And he's got 2 support cruisers just healing the hell out of everything here. LAVs in spades. And that is GG. Wow. I mean, if I seem a little bit stunned, it's because I'm not used to seeing Saban take games so convincingly. Let's just have a little zoom out here and think about what happened in this game. So I think Sparrow went for an opener which is totally fine. You know, he went for like production cruiser into 2 production cruiser pressure, which is all standard Galzian stuff. Didn't get anything done with it, but that's fine. You know, you don't always get anything done with it. I mean, it's standard stuff. You really just push across the map to keep your opponent honest. If you cause any damage, that's like an added bonus. You're really just pushing across the map to make sure your opponent isn't going like support / production cruiser first and just trying to do some silly like macro economy cheese. So you push across the map, you see what your opponent's doing, you force them to respond. But so that got repulsed. And then AAV tech was not taken by Empty, not for quite some time anyway. He went heavy into LAVs with booster, with upgrades. And I've got to say, I really like the style. Because the LAVs give you mobility, anti-air, they counter sand skimmers, which Sparrow was in. He was in sand skimmers. He had 2 armor upgrades pretty early, and he was producing a lot of sand skimmers. And, like, looking at this game as a whole, like, let's ask, how much value did sand skimmers get this game? And the answer is not much. I mean, they probably traded, like, okay, but they really didn't achieve much value. And then what happened? So then Railgun Tech came out for Empty, and he started taking up position on the field. And okay, so yeah, that's right. So the big moment in this game was when he came across with the LAV ball, and he just saw he had an opportunity. He used turbo boost. He came in. He picked off 2 siege cruisers. Ah, you know what? Actually, that's probably the. I wouldn't call it a mistake, but that's the move that didn't pay off for Sparrow, isn't it? That early siege cruiser tech. Because he had those siege cruisers nice and early, and what did they actually do? Like, I think those were probably his worst investment. They just got, they missed their barrages, which is unfortunate, but it does happen, and then they got overrun by LAVs and just downed. And I think if you're that heavy, I mean, that was 2 siege cruisers plus the research for them, and I think if you're that heavy into siege cruisers and they just do nothing as early in the game as that happened, that is always going to be a super rough game. That's going to be really hard to come back from. And Empty here, merciless. Merciless. The attack with the LAVs was really great earlier on, the pressure at the 3rd location and just like making life a bit harder for Sparrow, really good. And then he not only did he come in for the KO blow, but he made sure he closed the door completely on Sparrow by applying some objective pressure, by grabbing artifacts. And I mean, that was just a game where I feel like the Saban player was basically never flustered. You know, some railgun hits on his support cruiser in the very early game, some salvager losses later on when Sparrow did a backstab into this location with the sand skimmers, but none of that was, like, at any point worrisome for Empty. Like, he was just fine. Like, that was such a confident game. Wow, this makes me want to go and play Saban a bit, which I'm not going to do because they don't get sand skimmers. Sad, but wow. Okay, so that concludes this video. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, this for now, I guess. Actually, just before I do sign out, I'll just say, Deserts of Kharak replays. Obviously, I'm loving them at the moment. If you have any cool games, please do send them into magpiereplays@gmail.com. And regards other games, yeah, I'm looking to cast a bit of Company of Heroes or StarCraft 2 in the near future. So yeah, stay tuned. There'll be more videos coming soon. Yeah, thanks very much for watching. Magpie842, signing out.